Oh, here it is. I'll show you this. This guy, Mike Schellenberger. Thanks for making clear your opposition to our systems of representative democracy and regulated capitalism. You know, cling with his teeth. You know, the little sparkle off the tooth. TM, representative democracy and regulated capitalism, trademark. However, it is wrong to state that they can't solve our greatest ecological problems. Wrong, I tell you. Indeed, when it comes to climate change, they already are. Oh my God. Anyways, so this guy just goes on this big rant thread. So ridiculous. CO2 emissions have been declining in developed nations for more than a decade. Yeah, apparently so have birth rates. But, our population, our world population is still climbing. In fact, population of the United States is still climbing. So, supposedly CO2 emissions have been declining. Supposedly birth rates have been declining, but, we still seem to be gaining in CO2 emissions and population. So, that's such great news. Such great news. But when is it going to actually translate into, something substantial? We don't have time to reach some kind of flattening of the curve in 20 years. Is this true? U.S. and Britain saw emissions from electricity decline 27% and 63%. Okie dokie. Is that including military? Is that including, does that include everything? I wonder about these statistics. And he goes on to say emissions in developing nations will peak and decline, just as they did in developed nations once they achieve similar levels of prosperity. Oh my God. So this guy thinks that, once we've successfully once we've exported our way of life to the rest of the planet, and they all have cars and washing machines and, they have levels of prosperity just like the United States, well then that's when they're, are you understanding what I'm understanding? Global emissions could thus peak and decline by 2030 or 2040. Are you serious, dude? Oh, I said too late, Mike. Too late for your whatever it is you're trying to do. I mean, absolutely mind-numbingly stupid. This guy, is some kind of expert. This guy obviously thinks he knows something about something. I don't understand. I mean, he's obviously operating in a framework that, it just assumes that, we pick the best parts of the evidence, the best parts of the data, and, we go with that. Look at all the progress we're making. While the raw data of the fact that emissions have gone up every single year, year after year, they may or may not go up this year, but only because we had a worldwide pandemic. So it had nothing to do with, countries working together or, corporations lending a hand and chipping in too. No, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with a global pandemic. But until this year, we have seen emissions rise globally year after year, over year. Still rising. We have seen that coal-powered electricity or coal-fired power plants, the usage of coal power has doubled in the last 10 years. In one decade, coal power globally has doubled. And there are plans to build more coal power plants in China, in India, in Africa, in the Middle East, et cetera, et cetera. They're planning to build more of these things. So what the F is he talking about? When they reach our level of prosperity, well then their emissions are going to decline too. This guy is a lunatic. This guy is an absolute lunatic. Michael Schellenberger, you are a lunatic. Oh my God. But he's an author of, supposedly environmental books. Apocalypse Never, hero of environment. He's a Green Book Award winner. He's an IPCC expert. Oh my God. You are a certified idiot, sir. Let's look at more ridiculous stuff. More ridiculous stuff. Here's a report from the IEA, the International Energy Agency, from Bloomberg Green. Because Bloomberg News cares about green energy too. 3 years and $3 trillion could shift the climate change narrative. Whoa. Really? Okay, let's see. This is from a couple days ago, June 17th. A new report from the International Energy Agency details what it will take to lock in this year's drop in emissions. So locking in this year's drop in emissions. They've got a plan. So let's look at what their plan is all about. Plummeting carbon emissions and big government spending, two of the defining narratives of 2020 so far, could create an unprecedented opportunity for the world to meet the goals enshrined in the 2015 Paris Climate Change Agreement. This is an unprecedented opportunity. Yes, it is. According to the International Energy Agency, with $1 trillion of investment over the next 3 years, global energy-related CO2 emissions could end up falling in 2023. All right, so that's 3 years from now. We only have 10 years. By 4.5 billion metric tons, or 14% of last year's total. So they're talking about 3 years from now, we could get a 14% drop without pandemicizing ourselves. So says a special edition of the IEA's annual World Energy Outlook released today, which looks at more than 30 individual policies with the potential to both lift the world out of its COVID-19 economic slump. Oh, wait, hold on. We're talking about saving the economy first and generate climate safe growth. Climate safe growth. An oxymoron if I've ever heard one. So this has very little to do with climate change or the planet. And they're really honing in on the economic slump and climate safe growth. All right, guys, tell us more. Together, they would create 9 million jobs. Oh boy, jobs across a variety of energy-intensive sectors. Are those jobs that we would have to fly to or drive our cars to? What say you, Bloomberg Green? Across a variety of energy-intensive sectors and push global GDP 3.5. Oh my gosh, global GDP 3.5% higher. Oh my God. Are you saying that we can get a 14% drop in emissions and global domestic product growth? Whoa. By 2023, then it would otherwise have been, according to a joint IEA International Monetary Fund analysis. So here's how we're going to do it, guys. Buildings efficiency, wind and solar, networks, new electric vehicles, industry energy efficiency, long distance transport, appliances, end use. Oh my God, look at all these things that we're going to make. Look at all these things that we're going to make and we're going to do, and we're going to do so much stuff, and we're going to use so many resources trying to do all this. Biofuels, urban infrastructure, emerging technologies, material efficiency, nuclear and hydro. Good God. What a joke. Clean cooking, methane reductions. All right. Look how little methane reductions. That's hilarious. Boy. Yeah. The plan would make 2019 the definitive peak in global emissions, putting them on a path towards achieving long-term climate goals. The report states the IEA is releasing its analysis at a moment when many nations are beginning to consider what the next phase of pandemic stimulus. So this is the approved. I'm going to just read a little more. The new analysis focuses on potential job gains and targeted policies in 6 sectors: electricity, transport, buildings, industry, fuels, technology, blah, blah, boo. Yeah, and we need a $1 trillion investment. Let's get that money going around, guys. Let's get that more money, more money. Let's get that in there. This is the approved messaging, right? You can't use the pandemic as an example of how we could reduce emissions. You can't do that. What you can do is talk about how the pandemic shows us that we can spend a lot of money creating green jobs and creating green infrastructure, and that's going to take us out of this pandemic, this economic slump, and help us go green in our, in our lessening of the economic slump. That's what you can talk about. That's the approved message. Hey guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can also support the channel at the links below: PayPal, Square, and Patreon. Also, all of my live streams are available for listening on Patreon if you happen to miss them during the day. So you can sign up for my Patreon for as little as $1. If you want to go check out the live streams, they are all there. Thanks a lot.